Good morning, good morning. Let's see who's out there. Sunday, 9:15 a.m. Church. Let's see who's out there. This ought to be interesting.
We are a city where Black history is deeply rooted. From this country's beginning, to the abolitionist movement, to desegregation, to the fight for civil rights.
Please,
From
good
the
morning,
Revolutionary War,
Sydney,
the Civil War,
Dima,
the abolitionist movement, the Civil Rights Movement,
Ralph
and
Long.
beyond.
I hope y'all have
Black
seen the video.
Bostonians have been on the front lines, reaching for freedom's promise. In Boston, we stood up.
In Boston, we rise up.
In Boston, we spoke up.
In Boston, we continue to make our voices heard.
Black Bostonians have stood up, spoken up, and paved the way. That spirit of resilience and determination continues today.
Boston's story, like America's, is complex.
Just
The
waiting for
path
some more
forward
folks
has
to
not
get on
always been
here.
in a straight line.
Throughout our history, racial tension has sometimes bubbled just beneath the surface and sometimes bubbled over.
And sometimes they erupted. The scars remain.
But we're determined to move
I
forward,
hope y'all have seen
to
the
heal
video.
the wounds, and to tackle racial disparities.
I hope y'all have seen the video.
We are reconstructing.
All right, let's go. Spread the word, y'all, please. Let some folks know this is critical, I think. And once again, in the vein of what it is that I hope I'm striving to do when I do these videos. I just made a post the other day talking about are people like really that fascinated with themselves and like da 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 da. I hope that's not the sense that folks get with what I do. I don't do these things just because I like to hear myself talk or none of that. What I'm trying to do is over the years, I get a lot of conversations and phone calls about these things and that and analysis and whatnot. What I've decided to do is kind of have these conversations here so that folks can get some of the information that generally is only happening in private conversations behind the scenes about things that kind of affect us all. Not kind of affect us all, that do affect us all. All right. So, to that end, this is really about hopefully providing a different perspective and folks really getting a level of analysis on this. This is not about just, feeding ego and so on and so forth. Y'all can see I don't do hair and makeup, right? You dig? This is just, really having conversations with y'all as it comes to me and as these things develop. So, boy, there's a lot to unpack here. So, first of all, I heard about this video for several days now. People was talking about this NAACP video. It's basically a commercial for the convention. But this is made by the city of Boston with the cooperation of a bunch of people. It's like a who's who of who's in there. The problem is, and see, this is what I'm going to do, because a lot of people in there I got love for and respect. Some people in there I do not. But a lot of people I got love and respect for. And what I strive to do, regardless of anything, is go straight down the middle, right? And keep the analysis the same. So, a lot of these points are points that I've touched on before, talking about the individualism of like, you're doing good. So like, for instance, if you ask Oprah how black people are doing, Oprah might think black people's doing good because she doing good. You know what I mean? Or have a false sense of, everybody, you can just do it if you work hard and, all this type of stuff, which is, cliche, it's simplistic, it's, not applicable in a lot of different things. And of course, people like Oprah had some of the same forces against them that, that we did. And, it's more like hitting a lottery. You're not the only talented black woman out there in broadcasting. Or if you the dude who made it to the NBA, it's not like you was the only talented basketball dude out there. You the one that made it. Or if y'all are the 200 that made it out of the 3 million that's trying, right? So in any event, here in Boston, we have that a lot. We have the differences of classism. We have the black bourgeoisie. All of these things are on display. So, short analysis. Here we have a commercial. Boston, the NAACP is coming to Boston in 2020, the National NAACP convention. And they have a who's who up there to tell you basically. See, it's a commercial, so what are they supposed to say? Boston sucks? Right? It's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. But this is where it gets into like not being genuine and lying and co-signing for lies. So what happens is the people here, the black people here, by and large, are doing quite well. There's no regular rank and file black people here. These are all black people who are, gainfully employed, doing quite well for themselves, and so on and so forth. All right. So let's start there. And none of this, although there's little like, oh, we still have challenges, but we're going to fight, and, da-da-da-da. There's a big talk there about like Boston being this bastion of revolution and so on and so forth. Boston people have been at the forefront of all these things. All of this is true. Our history here is ridiculous when it comes to, standing against oppression and revolution and whatnot. But that's kind of ancient history. Modern times, not so much. Okay? I don't know if you understand what being co-opted means. But the Black Revolution in Boston has primarily been co-opted, and it's been co-opted primarily by those who do not see agitation, right, as a form of forward progress, but they see capitulation, they see cooperation, they see compromise, and oftentimes those can be tools. That just can't be like the first thing you go to in your toolbox and the only thing you got in your toolbox, right? So unfortunately, over the years, this is what I've been talking about. The voice of revolutionary Boston, Black nationalist perspective, Pan-Africanist perspective, just real black rooted, grassroots, community founded. That is really been weeded out. And what we have in its place is the black bourgeoisie speaking on behalf for the black masses, primarily speaking about problems that they are no longer affected by, although people in their family or their community are still affected by those problems. But it has a lesser effect because there's levels of separation from them and the issues that necessarily plagues. And I'm being very general and broad here. All right. But give you a great example. They got Deval Patrick on there. Now, Deval Patrick, I like Deval Patrick, but I like him from the perspective of, look, history. This is what I said, like when Obama became president. Look, it's great for a cover of Ebony magazine, but I didn't have an unrealistic thought that translated to forward progress for black people and their quality of life and their conditions of living, right? So the image of Obama is wonderful. That's a wonderful image. Him, Michelle, the kids, that's a great black America needed it. Black America needed it. Certainly that's an image. But, a guy like me, I'm about the reality. So it didn't translate much into how black lives changed. Okay? So same with somebody like Deval on the local level. When you have somebody like Governor Patrick who's in there, I think people were super hopeful. But it didn't really trickle down to regular black folks. And once again, I like Deval. Nice guy. Great guy. Remembers my name every doggone time. It's amazing. Great guy. But like leader of the revolution? No. If he was that, he would have never got to be governor in, the great white state of Massachusetts. In order to ascend to that level of office in Massachusetts, there had to be a level of comfortability with white people. And so much like, we talked about this the other day, black men who lose the tone in their voice and it gets much more nasally and you get to that thing, that's what we're dealing with. The Devals, the Baracks. It's a slew of them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. But when you get to that certain level, very few black men, in my opinion, speak like regular black men. And I'm not talking about vocabulary. Okay. I'm not talking about vocabulary. I'm talking about tonality. Okay. So code switching, right? But you don't switch so long, like whose code you upholding, really, right? And is code switching really a tap out and an acquiescence to say, I just give up. In order for me to survive, this is what I got. Okay, so I got to put the white coat on. I'm gonna put the white coat on. Damn it. So like all the rebellion, all the resistance has been weeded out of you. In any event, I digress. So when you have people like Deval Patrick, like what's Deval Patrick going to say? So while all this stuff has been going on that is plaguing us, right? So the poverty, the less than 1% in construction contracts that we getting, $8 of economics and all that, all the violence that has happened, all the kids that have been dying and all that. Y'all heard Deval, he was screaming at the top of his lungs, wasn't he? Because Deval always been repping on behalf of us, the people, right? Right, wrong. So my point is, nice guy, great guy, but, if we say in terms of like the street where they say, what you eat don't make me crap, right? So like Deval Patrick, he got his own life, and that's wonderful, and I applaud that black life, and him and his wife and his kids and everything, and they're doing great. But the majority of us, right, we not doing so good. And we ain't waiting on Deval to come back with a cape to save us, because you will just be sorely disappointed. Okay? So that's my point. So when you go through this commercial here, right, from the beginning,
a city where black history is deeply rooted.
True.
From this country's beginning to the
a city where the
movement,
black history is deeply rooted. Abolition, segregation,
from the Revolutionary War,
fight for civil rights, Revolutionary War, Civil War, abolitionist movement, all this.
Civil rights movement.
All this, we know.
Beyond,
we know.
Black Bostonians have been on the front lines, reaching for freedom's promise.
And maybe that's why they kicked our behind so thoroughly, so that even the semblance of rebellion or revolution is kicked out, because we don't celebrate that in Boston now, do we? Is that celebrated in Boston? Is revolution and like resistance to oppression, is that celebrated or is that marginalized? Right? Let's not get it twisted. All right?
In Boston, we stood up.
Sister Lamerchi, I love her. We stood up. True.
We spoke up.
We spoke up.
In Boston, we continue to make
They show the Black Lives Matter thing. Okay, so this is the beginning of the breakdown, because now some of this is videography and people putting stuff together. So in Boston, we stood up. We spoke up. Okay, yes. As of late, not so much. Once again, we rely on either our ancient history, going back to, y'all want to talk about Crispus Attucks and Frederick Douglass, and you know what I mean? Ain't nobody giving them types of speeches no more that Frederick Douglass was spitting. That fieriness. Like right now. I mean, imagine doing What to the Slave is the 4th of July at the time that he did it. Most black leaders wouldn't spit that now. Okay? And I'm talking about like they might join together and join hands to do the historic rendition. But I'm talking about somebody who spoke that strong about American oppression at like on the day that no, most of these black leaders be like 4th of July cookouts in little red, white, and blue little joints with sweaters tied around their waists and stuff. Little loafers on. The Vineyard and Nantucket even. So let's not get it twisted, right? About thinking about the perspective of where like revolution and standing against oppression, these are like nostalgic things, right? We love Malcolm X, but you would kill and snitch on the Malcolm X in your midst. Okay? Super duper. Right now. Because he's dangerous. All right? And you don't want to get in trouble. Right? Okay, so now we spoke up, we stood up, true, but certainly to a lesser degree. Then they put up something like Black Lives Matter, which, newsflash, Black Lives Matter don't rep for us. Once again, we have to have context and understand. For instance, where they at now? This is like Occupy. This is the same things I told people. Flash in the pan. Here today, gone tomorrow. Johnny come lately, want to be the king of the universe, and say, depend on me, I am the savior of the people. 30 days later, you can't find this joker. And they done left with a big briefcase full of money. Or whatever. Right? But your problems is still your problems and whatever. And we keep depending on this cycle. The clergy, elected officials, whoever, whatever. It's really sick.
Black Bostonians have stood up, spoken up, and paved the way. That spirit of resilience.
Okay, black Bostonians, if you're spoken of, stood up, paid away. Then they show an image of the of the 54th Regiment Monument. Right, this is Boston. It's like, yo, that's iconic. Y'all remember the movie Glory and all that? Let's talk about how many times that thing been defaced. So we not down south. Like, everybody talking about, oh, Emmett Till, they shot guns. They ain't shooting guns up here into the Boston Common. That'd be crazy. But, oh, the Emmett Till thing got shot up or whatever. Our monuments get defaced right up here in good old Boston. Let's talk about it, y'all. Okay? People still finding nigga go home in schools, little nooses and all sorts of, all the little shenanigans that these white boys be up to. So let's not pretend like, once again, Boston, black is celebrated, because it's not. From the highest levels. So a lot of these people, and we're going to keep going, a lot of this is just straight hypocritical. Not the black people.
Boston's story, like America's, is complex.
The path forward has not always been in a straight line.
Reverend Liz Walker, Deval Pat, they're saying, Boston, like America, it's complex. It hasn't always been in a straight line. So that's what we call, like, to me, we beginning on this apology. That's where we like, oh, everything's not perfect. Right, great. What are we doing to make it perfect?
Throughout our history, racial tension has sometimes bubbled just beneath the surface.
Racial tension has bubbled just beneath the surface. Just beneath the surface. No. Racial tension in Boston has been above the surface, sir. Classic things. Once again, you got these iconic images of people being lynched and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, throughout, Time Life magazine, all these historical books where people were showing you the brutality that happened. And right here in Boston, not in 1950s Mississippi, not in the 1800s or nothing, in the 70s, right? In the 70s, you got the iconic photo of the black man being speared with the American flag on City Hall Plaza steps. Let's not act like, and if we as black people, I understand why the power structure wants to sweep things under the rug. But don't you hold the dustpan, Jack. No, man. Let's not be complicit in the retelling of the history that encompasses our own oppression. If they want to do better, I'm all for white people doing better. I just don't believe it because I've never seen it. But yeah, if they want to do better, great. We got a list. We got a list of areas that they could do better on. Let's make that commercial. You don't want to make that commercial, right? Of the things that the city has been asked that could actually be for the advancement of colored people. Do they rock with that? Okay, so, bang. Let's keep going.
And sometimes they erupted. The scars remain.
Sometimes they erupted. The scars remain. They're still showing Frederick Douglass and all this.
To heal the wounds.
Tanisha, God bless her. Love her. And you can tell, too, the different people trying to keep it real, like, we got challenges, we still got work to do, and da-da-da-da. I get it. Well, as you notice, I'm not in the commercial. They didn't ask me.
We are reconstructing the system together.
Bob Rivers, Chairman and CEO, Eastern Bank. We are reconstructing the system together. Now, great example. I've heard great things about him and Eastern Bank. But once again, he don't run the revolution either. We're working together for solutions together. Like, I'm going to call him. I swear to God, I'm going to call him. All right? Because, how do I say? Once again, Boston is so bourgeoisie and so event and personality based. A lot of these white people and these corporations, they get off the hook by throwing like a little banquet or like a gala or a breakfast or like, I don't know, sponsoring a summer camp or, they give some money to the Y. I mean, look, Yawkey gave money to the Roxbury Boys and Girls Club so much so that they was willing to rename it after this racist. Rather than saying what I would have said, oh, you wanna give some money to cleanse your filthy soul? All right, we'll take the money, but we're not putting the name. We're not putting the name up here. That's a no-no. It's a no-no. And if you're really giving out the goodness of your own heart, you won't mind that. You want money, and everybody's still gonna know you gave the money because where the money come from. Okay, y'all, we just not putting your name on the building. That's disrespectful. But nope, not in Boston. Not in Boston. So unfortunately, the people who are supposed to speak like on our behalf, they do too much compromising and too much like, okay, we'll let that slide. We let that slide. We let that slide. And before you know it, you don't let 100 things slide. And so see, every time if you slide, you go a foot back. And so you're like, all right, well, it's not so much. It's a foot back. But then after 100 slides and you 100 feet back, right? Then you begin to peep like how much footing you have given up willingly. And, you know, part of it is a con and a hustle.
We're working every day to make sure racial equity...
Oh, all right, babe. Have a great day. Love you. Then you got D.A. Rollins saying we're working every day.
and social justice is at the heart of everything we do.
Absolutely. But see, now this is where it also gets tricky. Because that's her. That's her statement. That ain't a blanket statement for everybody in this commercial. Right? So that's what she's working on every day. That's her position. That's her statement. But that ain't no blanket. Now, who's this lady right here? Honestly, Amy Latimer, president, TD Garden. I don't even know enough, but I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna guess. Let me put on my psychic hat. I'm gonna guess that TD Garden has big problems with staffing and diversity. Okay, back since it was the Boston Garden to now. Let me use my psychic powers again to predict. I'm gonna predict that most of the black people who work there are younger people and they work in concessions, maintenance, security, and things like that. I'm going to guess that the higher up you go in TD Gardens, hierarchy, I'm going to guess that the higher up you go, the whiter you go. Now, look, I just did that just based off of general knowledge. Prove me wrong. All right? I'm psychic, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm psychic.
In government and across political parties, we have political representation.
Russell Holmes, in government and across political parties, we have political representation. We have to peep that. Is that true? I can't say that that's true. And once again, to a brother like him, I know he's working hard. He's busting his butt, you know. But no, I cannot say that we have fair political representation across the board. And henceforth, because it's too difficult to get the things pushed across that are common sense things that are like, let me give you a great example. Right now, what he's working on, what I began, it's called police decertification. Police decertification. All right, all across the country they have it. In fact, Massachusetts is only one of 6 states that does not have it. Okay, 6 states. That means 44 others have it. Mississippi figured it out. Alabama, Texas, all the places we want to call backwater boogie places, right? They all figured it out, but good old highfalutin bourgeoisie Massachusetts ain't figured it out yet. Okay. Police decertification, that means if an officer gets, caught of a crime, whatever, could be anything, because, they be committing a bunch of crimes. I'm not just talking about police brutality or the death of a civilian. Could be a rape, could be a drunk driving, could be a pedophilia, drugs, they be wilding. So anything a cop does like that, you would actually lose your license and ability to be a cop. Meaning you can't move from Massachusetts and move to, Florida and be a cop all over. And if you don't know, a lot of cops get recycled from city to city, state to state, and problem cops pop up elsewhere. They say that they have it controlled, but they really don't. So decertification is a tool of that. I introduced that now, I think, what was that, like 5 years ago? It's still going on. Once again, don't argue with me. 44 other states have it. So it's not just like, oh, I found it and I brought it, I brought it forward and I tweaked it a little. But, when you're against this, you're not arguing with Jamal Crawford. We don't like that idea. You're arguing against a principle that has been accepted by virtually all of the doggone country and by law enforcement themselves. Okay? So in any event, so when we said stuff like we have political representation, I can't really say that that's true. At least not political representation that can move the needle according to the betterment of the quality of life for the things that matter most to us. If that was the case, all the educational legislation wouldn't take so long to pass in our benefit. The criminal justice legislation wouldn't take so long to pass in our benefit. The marijuana stuff wouldn't take so long to pass in our benefit. The policing stuff wouldn't take so long to pass in our benefit. Budget, what you call it, health stuff wouldn't take so long, housing wouldn't take so long. So let's not act like, once again, it's easy for us to be like, yo, we're doing good. Cause what do you want to say? We're doing bad? Of course, human nature is to say we're doing good, but we're not doing good, and that's a problem. Okay? How many black representatives do we have out the state? Okay? There's like 250 something of them, okay? And like 13 of them is people of color. We do not have political representation, y'all. Okay? God bless Russell Holmes. God bless the Massachusetts Black and Latino Legislative Caucus. God bless anybody who is in office right now. I don't know them all. Henceforth, ain't that a problem? Don't know them all. And I'm a pretty sharp guy. Don't know them all. So wonderful. But no, we don't have political representation. And at the local level, same deal. God bless the Kim Janeys, the Andrea Campbells, sister who Lydia Edwards, all that. God bless it. I'm not speaking down on it. I'm just saying it ain't enough. And it ain't enough. How do I know it ain't enough? Because the proof is in the pudding. So no, we do not have adequate political representation that can bring home the bacon that affects the quality of our life. Henceforth, we wouldn't be in the hell that we're in. Does that make sense, y'all? So we can't, on the one hand, yes, our political representation when we're on the crappiest, we number one on all the crap charts. We doing the worst. Once again, this is what I've been talking about too. Fernando, Saturday Night Live. It is better to look good than to feel good. Well, y'all heard all the sayings we got when you was a kid. Fake it till you make it. You want the appearance of, but not the actual thing. It's sad, y'all.
In business and throughout our neighborhoods.
Look. Okay, stop. Eric Rosengren, President, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Now, you got a lot of nerve. Ain't them the numbers where, like, he's not in charge of the numbers in terms of, like, what have you, but let me say this. Is the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston a bastion of diversity? This is, once again, people will do these little galas and whatnot. They'll give a guy like this an award or whatever, and, what is he? John Brown? Y'all better stop with this. Okay? Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Okay? Which, what was the release of the report? That's just where we got determined that we worth $8. Okay? Bank of Boston, y'all. Y'all know the history. You know about redlining, right? You know about the loans, right? Come on, y'all. These people are not our friends. Let's not, and once again, if any of these folks have, seen the light and want to do something for the poor, underprivileged people, I can just guarantee you the thing that they want to do is not like the same type of thing like I want to do. They believe in diversity like, oh, I'll donate to, a YMCA summer camp for the poor, underprivileged little colored folks, right? Or whatever. And damn, they don't even be doing that. All right? Might set up an internship or a scholarship or whatever, but it's not moving the needle to the quality of life. And we let them off the hook. Because they do some little, and you talking about like $1 billion industry. That would be like me donating to you and giving you a penny out of what I got. These people got billions of dollars at their disposal. Give you crumbs. Let them eat cake. Okay? So let's not get it twisted. And a commercial, a poorly produced commercial by the city of Boston. I don't know who produced this commercial, so let me not crap on it. But I'll get to the errors too. But Eric Rosengren, president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, let's go back and let's hear what he says, because it's critical.
We have political representation.
That's Russell.
In business and throughout our neighborhoods.
We will have equitable economic opportunities.
He said in business and in our neighborhoods. That's the dude from the Federal Reserve. And then they go to Jim Rooney, who says, we will have equitable economic... No, let me go back. We will have equitable economic... in our
business and throughout our neighborhoods.
We will have equitable economic opportunities.
We will have equitable economic opportunities. When? Look, how, Sway? When? When and how? So once again, look, you can get your pie in the sky if you want, and you'll be waiting on it for a long time. For those that don't know, Jim Rooney is the former head of the convention center. This is the one that quarterbacked the thing along with Darnell for the National Urban League Convention. Y'all, I have the tapes. Like Arby got the meats, I got the tapes. All right? So don't listen to crazy old Jamal. You can watch the tapes. I'll post them up here. You can watch the tapes to see what these people said out their own mouths. All of this is just a scheme. I'm not talking about the NAACP convention. I'm talking about before that, the Urban League convention, and I'm talking about these folks here. People like Jim Rooney and all that. There is not a plan to redistribute wealth. That's not part of the plan. There's not a plan to redistribute wealth or make black people wealthy. That's not part of the plan. There is a plan to extract, siphon the money out of the black community right into white hands. That is the plans, my friend. Newberry Street, Copley Square, Seaport, and wherever else they damn near point you. Maybe the South End now too is included in that. Okay? All right? The goal, and look, what is this, a new goal? This is the goal of America. Y'all know we the number one spenders about in every doggone category. Sneakers, hair, electronics, whatever. We buy the most of everything. We the number one consumer, and they the number one producer. So they make goods, and then they depend on us to buy it. Because we just can't, our money's too hot in our pocket. We just can't wait to part ways. What they say, a fool and his money is soon parted. This is what we dealing with here. And in Boston, we are all too happy to find any opportunity to go give our money to folks like this who do not like us, do not respect us. And look, by their fruit you shall know them. I've been in the meetings. They talk, we respect. You define respect. We respect you. We let them off the hook. Diversity, equity, they throw out all these little buzzwords, transparency, accountability, until you get to asking some questions. Okay? Because they don't got the answers. We know what it is. This is a con game, y'all.
In our public schools and higher education, we will have a just system for all.
Dr. Brenda Casilius, first of all, she just got here. What's she been here? A month? In our schools, what she say? We will have justice and equity in our education system in our schools? Boy, is she in for a rude awakening. Okay? So, I don't think people, once again, you get a job and people tell you, yeah, we're with you, we're up for your success, and you want to say that, and you want to believe it, but we've been through too many superintendents now. The system is broken. And unless not only you have the desire, but the ability and the support, the resources, the infrastructure in order to break the whole damn system and start over from the rooter to the tutor, it ain't gonna work. What they say, Jesus can't fix that. We know this. The BPS is jacked up. And what it takes to fix it, the city is not invested to fix it. Why? Because it costs too much money. Why? Because the people who ultimately would benefit, the black and the brown children, are not number one on the priority list. I mean, once again, sometimes when we look at a problem like education, let's look outside of it and look at the bigger picture. My kid is going to school where the paint is coming down and it's toxic and there's mold and mildew and the roof is falling and all that. Yeah, well, that's because they don't care about your kid. Their kid don't go to a school like that. You see the difference? And they'll give you all the lip service every year for the past 20 years. I mean, when I went to high school, we ain't had no paper and books and this, no supply. Same thing. Boston got goo gobs of money, y'all. You know that, right? Boston ain't got no problem getting books and paper and all that. It's a hustle. They could fix them buildings if they wanted to. We in the Union City, right? They don't want to. Why? Because of the kids and the benefits. Because those folks, they don't care about. Which is why our community looks worse than other communities. They're cleaned differently. They're maintained differently. Come on, y'all. Y'all know this. Y'all know this. It ain't because we're dirtier. Right? So little things like this, we got to know when we're in the middle of all these things. So somebody like Brenda Casillas, let me hear what she had to say again.
Opportunity.
In our public schools and higher education, we will have a just system for all.
In our public schools and higher education, we will have a just system for all. When? How? And notice, too, they don't say we have. So, because that would just be out, like lightning might strike the doggone camera production, right? We have. We will have. Ain't no timeline, though, right? Ain't no time. We will have. One day, maybe, if you're good. Listen, man.
We will identify solutions to help Black and brown families share fully in our city's prosperity.
We will identify solutions that will help Black and brown families. Let's go back.
We will identify solutions to help Black and brown families share fully in our city's prosperity.
To share fully in our city's prosperity. God bless Kim Janey. Once again, too, I hope y'all understand these ain't attacks on these people. A lot of these people I love and respect. She's one of them. Okay, so something like that. We've presented these. It ain't like this is new. We've presented these ideas for solutions for decades now. The problem is we live in a city where the administration and the powers that be is unwilling to implement them. In some cases, even listen to them. But now they listen. They just yes you to death. Great idea. Great idea. That's wonderful. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's really smart. And they just never implement. Or they do the opposite. As in their fumbling and failures in this city dealing with race. It's a failure. From the moment that the mayor said that he wanted to tackle it and refused to listen to Black people about how to approach that and decided to put his own circle of white people in charge and quarterback how Boston handles race is arrogant. It's short-sighted because these people are not experts in that thing. Okay? You know, don't put me in charge of the Pilgrim colonial celebration because I'm not into it. And don't put the white people in charge of race who could not pass a 10-question quiz made up by me, something that I would give like a youth that just went through like a workshop or something that I do after like a week. They couldn't even pass a 10-question quiz that I would make for a child. And I'm not joking. I'm being completely serious. That's not no sauce or nothing. That's the fact that the city and the administration has put people in charge of race, white people, who know nothing about it. Nothing. Zero. Zilcho. All right? So it ain't that ideas for solutions haven't been presented. It's that the administration, the powers that be, and this is not just Walsh, y'all. This is largely Menino. 20 years of Menino, 5 years of Walsh. A quarter century of being stuck on stupid when it comes to race. A quarter of a century. The whole time telling us it's going to get better, it's going to get better. Now this next sister, Trina Martin, Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Boston Medical Center. Sales and marketing. Y'all, we getting close to the stuff now. A health center, sales and marketing. Come on, y'all.
Having strong physical and mental health care available to them.
We're not there yet.
Hold up.
While having strong physical and mental health care available to them.
Having strong physical and mental health care available to them. So once again, this is aspirational. It's talking about some things that I guess that these people want to achieve, but clearly we ain't nowhere near right now. And there is no collective unified plan of how to get there. And to my knowledge, I haven't seen, like, these people are not pulling together the ultimate Black agenda or whatever. Man, don't be fooled. Boston Medical Center. Boston Medical Center. Where's that at? That's the that's right down there on Mass and Melnia. Is that? Oh yeah, that one. Come on now. Sales and marketing. God bless you, sister. You got a tough job, but I'm not buying what they selling. I'm not buying what they have you selling. You understand what I'm saying? No disrespect to this sister, But once again, let me tell you this. When my grandmother was sick and whatnot, there was some services that they were talking about she could go down to BMC to get. I don't know how you feel. I wouldn't send my dog for veterinary services to BMC. I don't know how you feel. Okay, if you get shot in the middle of the night, maybe that's a good place to go, trauma center or whatever. But yeah, nah. We going over to Beth Israel. We going to Deaconess. We going to Brigham and Women's. We going anywhere but BMC. I couldn't even leave my grandmother alone in the doggone visiting room there. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, not for me. Physical and mental health care at a place like that looks the way that looks is problematic. Me going down there affects me driving by there affects my mental health. And once again, I'm not being funny or facetious or cute. This is sad. This is tragedy that the major centers of our city, let's look at it, y'all. Homelessness is mostly concentrated around City Hall, the State House, all of our palaces of power. The other place where we have the biggest fiasco in the city that the entire state and nation is looking at of legend, and what they got documentaries on it, Netflix specials and all that, is our health center. Right near the level 3 bio lab and the jail, y'all. Come on, man. But everything's okay here.
Physical and mental health care available to them.
We're not there yet, but in Boston, like the national.
Now let's stop there. Tanisha just said the most realist thing. We're not there yet. But in Boston, like the national NAACP, they're going to do this slogan. We know when we fight, Ron Cofield, when we fight, we win. Now, here come my boy, Michael Curry. Now, y'all know, Michael Curry is a dude who literally, it's fascinating to me. So when I do a lot of this talk about like ego and stuff like this, once again, we just use this as a model. Oftentimes, y'all, when I'm on TV or Zada, they always ask me, Jamal, what do we put? And I mean, you could put a lot of stuff. Author, poet, writer. I mean, what are we doing? Head of the Blackstonian, mass police reform, feed the hood. It's too damn much. So often I just tell them, look, Jamal Crawford, what? Roxbury resident, community activist, just leave it. Like, what? Jamal Crawford. I'm a guy from Roxbury. I'm not into the labels, the titles, the pomp, the circumstances, but a lot of people are. Michael Curry happens to be one of those people. He may be the biggest of those people. He may be their leader. He's really into this. So what's funny to me, it struck me, once again, I'm doing media analysis, y'all. So I'm not doing this as hating. I'm doing it because it's what I notice and what I look at and what I see when I do these things. So everybody had a little tagline down there next to their thing. You know what I mean? Deval Patrick. Some of these people real bigwigs. Oh boy, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. White man, right? Jim Rooney. They all had a name and one line under there. We get to Michael Curry. It says, Michael A. Curry, Esquire, Legislative Affairs Director and Senior Counsel at Massachusetts League of Community Health Centers, National NAACP Executive Committee member, former president of the NAACP Boston branch. So when I'd say stuff like, are you feeling yourself much? Those are the live examples. We'd had to cut some of that out. For me, to my tastes, personally. But for him, that's a whole bunch. And I tell you, too, he looks like he's slimmed down. He's looking a lot better. Good for you, Michael. I hope your health is in order and all that. And I'm not joking there. I don't have hate for him. He's just a fascinating individual who I like to peep out, just like a Tito Jackson. There's no hate there. It's just I find it very fascinating. And unfortunately, we do this because we at opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to, trying to move our people forward, because these things ain't gonna do it. But all right, so now let's listen to what he got to say.
Here, the legacy of the NAACP is strong. As the first branch of the association, we helped shape the policy and priorities on the national level. The Boston branch is proud to have led the way during our city's most tumultuous past.
The NAACP has played a pivotal role in what goes on in Boston and all of its communities. Right now.
Okay, and then we got Joe Feaster, right? So, okay, Michael Curry is basically there saying, you know, Boston NAACP, oldest branch, you know, in the country, and has helped shape a lot of national stuff. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that is. It probably was true, once again, historically, but as of late, I don't know. I know that, you know, under his tenure, I could speak on that. Under his tenure, I know he has certainly tried to involve himself in the national NAACP and kind of get his hands into all things and da-da-da-da-da-da. But once again, going back to Boston, the NAACP in its heyday with people like, you know, Louis Lisa, Darian Wilkerson, you know, when they was going against like HUD and, you know, winning like biggest lawsuits ever. It was a lot of revolutionary stuff going on back then. And then I think a lot of people would have to admit the NAACP kind of, you know, fell out of its heyday period, right? And then it, you know, it went down. When Michael Curry got in, he kind of breathed new life into it. But I'm gonna say, you know, once again, it's gonna sound like hate, but this is just my analysis. But it was kind of like a false pretense. So as I said, when he was running, you know, he was kind of going to use his nightclub promoter type of skills and kind of bring that type of thing to it. And so he did. So got more people involved. And as I said, the flyers would be better, the website would be better, and the events would be better. And he made me, again, I'm psychic, he made me correct on all 3 points, right? But when I'm talking about tangible fights against oppression and really being the head and, like, you know, really pushing the envelope on policy and all that, yeah, not so much. All right. And so these are some of the little things, and other people may have different things, but whatever. In my view, people like the Michael Currys, they play more of the bourgeoisie game. They more into rubbing elbows and, you know, doing the galas and the this and the that, the black tie affairs and all that. But when it came time to really pushing on critical issues, the really difficult ones, like policing, for example, they shied away from that under his tenure. You know, and I have examples upon examples. I don't want to get into the personal stuff, what have you, but, you know, some people who've been around, there were opportunities for them to do the right thing, and they simply chose, nah, that's not what we're trying to do, because it was too controversial. And so they played it safe and da-da-da. But when it's time to tell it, you know, they want to tell the revolutionary story, but oftentimes their story is one of moderation, compromise. It's not one of fighting hard body. Joe Feaster, of course, who I love, got a lot of respect for, you know.
Tumultuous past.
The NAACP has played a pivotal role in what goes on in Boston and all of its communities. Right now.
And so what he said, probably more so correct. You know, particularly around the, things like the housing, you know, desegregation, and, you know, a lot of those types of things like that with the NAACP. But once again, we're talking about classic NAACP, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s, early 80s, maybe on into the early 90s. And then is where, you know, it kind of maybe waned off or got into a different focus in a different direction under the different leaderships or what have you. Okay, now, here comes my favorite. Once again, analysis, y'all. Media, we're doing media analysis, right? So now here comes Commissioner William Gross. So it says Commissioner William Gross. Underneath that it says Commission, Boston Police Department. They ain't even get his thing right, y'all. Ay, caramba. They ain't even get Commissioner Gross's thing right. Commissioner William Gross. Commission, Boston Police Department. They meant commissioner, which they had already set up top. So they could have just said Commissioner William Gross, Boston Police Department. But once again, y'all got to look into these things and like read between the lines, because this goes into respect. This goes into respect. They didn't get the white man's name wrong from the Boston Federal Reserve Bank or his title. They didn't get Jim Rooney's title wrong. They didn't get nobody's title wrong. They didn't even get Michael Curry's long, damn near paragraph long. I kid you not. It was 3 lines. It's literally like a paragraph. They didn't get his damn near paragraph long salutation wrong, right? But good old Commissioner William Gross, commission, Boston Police Department. He's on the commission. Listen, y'all, I can't make this up. All right? So this is just something like nobody caught that in the edit. Nobody caught that until me, apparently. Nobody catches it. It's on YouTube, y'all. It's been on YouTube since July 24th. What's that, 4 days? They got 635 views in 4 days, y'all. This is the city of Boston. I'm telling you, they don't even care about it. All right, so let's go back, because I want to hear what Commissioner Gross got to say.
Its communities.
Right now, there's no better time in Boston to show diversity and inclusion.
Right now, there's no better time in Boston to show diversity and inclusion. Who can disagree with that? Once again, it's aspirational. It's not what's going on. Yeah, this is no better time than now to show diversity and inclusion. How's that working out? How we doing? How is the city of Boston doing that you work for? How is the Mayor Walsh, and the administration right now doing with diversity and inclusion? And I'm not talking about the bull stuff that they'll pull out, where they'll show you like programs. You know, my guy Donnie, he's in charge of diversity and whatnot. Applaud Donnie. He's doing a great job. Problem is, it ain't enough. And the type of diversity that they talking about is not the same diversity that I'm talking about. Right? So there's a little bit of a difference there. Okay? So the BPD diversity still employs majority of white males in a city that is not majority white male. Still takes in a huge amount of complaints from that same population that is majority white male. That same population, majority white male, does not get the same disciplinary treatment as their people of color counterparts or female counterparts. So we got problems from some of the very departments what these people are talking about. Diversity and inclusion, no doubt. They've been rolling out the cadet program and all that. Wonderful. We applaud the cadet program. But guess what? 17, 18, 19-year-old kids who come from the hood, black, brown, whatever, that's not the problem. The problem is what you're going to do with these white males from the age of, rookie to retirement. Those are the problems. What you going to do about that? Right? What can be done about that? We're not talking about that. I haven't spoken to the commissioner in I don't know how long now. Proposals upon proposals. Man, they tell me yes, great ideas, drop the ball. This is the game of the administration. I haven't got no no's. I get yes to death and no follow-up, no tangibles. So that's the whole thing. We're going to talk about diversity. And it'll be a great thing. We just never going to achieve it. Right? Equality, equity, all these little buzzwords that they throw around. And it's really hollow. It's very hollow. We don't even have a civilian review board in the city. Back to Russell Holmes' point again, we have political representation in this city. No, we don't. We don't even have something sufficiently enough to drive something as common sense as a civilian review board. You mean to tell me something as revolutionary as the civilians should have a say-so to review the department that is supposed to protect and serve them that they pay for with their tax dollars? That's crazy. Right? You see what I'm saying? So the things that we have in this city, they're like, well, look, you got this, you got that, you got this. You should be happy. But no, it ain't what we got. It's what we don't have. And it's also some of the things that we have aren't working good. Okay? Make them write it down and give an expiration date. They're not going to do that. You need a pistol to do that. You understand what I'm saying? You can't make these people, give you no definitive. Especially when doing all this aspirational pie in the sky, lofty ideals and all this type, let them eat cake when that's worked so well. Why would they abandon it?
Are a thriving, ethnically diverse, economically diverse. Are a thriving.
Let's go.
I'm in Boston to show diversity and inclusion.
We are a thriving, ethnically diverse, economically diverse place.
We are a thriving, ethnically diverse, and economically diverse place. Thriving, y'all. That's just not true.
There's no
Some
better
of it,
time
y'all in
Boston
y'all in the
to
video
show
doing well.
diversity and inclusion.
We are a thriving, ethnically diverse, economically diverse place.
We are not thriving. All the reports say exactly the contrary. So that's what I'm saying. This is like a commercial. It's lies. We're not thriving. We're doing quite poorly. Okay? We're doing quite poorly. White people are doing quite well, on average. Black people, we're doing quite poorly here, with every indicator. Education, health, employment, wealth, crime, all that. We're doing poorly here. So, once again, when you're doing these things and you're trying to make a commercial for your city, you're trying to make it like, pleasing and whatnot, da-da-da-da. But when we lie on behalf of our oppressor and lie about the level of oppression that we experience, we are only, we're co-signing it. We're co-signing. We're capitulating with it. You know what I'm saying? We're co-conspirators in our own demise. Right? Because some of this is like, if y'all want to say that, then y'all say it. I'm not saying that. If you want to say it, then you say it. Like this commercial could have been all Mayor Walsh, as far as I'm concerned, and the white bankers.
A diverse place, and we want you to come so you can experience our blackness.
Okay, now watch this. This is where it gets tricky. We want you to come. We're talking about the NAACP convention, right? We want you to come. Listen to her.
And experience our blackness, our Caribbeanness, our Irishness, our Italianness, right?
No, not right. No. Now we're giving the false, and you got to understand that's our former Senator Linda Dorsina Fori, another person who I love and respect. Now works for Suffolk Construction, married to Bill Fori of the Dorchester Reporter, who is a white Irish man. She is a Haitian black woman. So in her own family dynamic, she may be feeling great about that, but no. We do not want to recommend large amounts of visitors coming from all across the country from the NAACP convention. We do not want them to experience the Irishness and the Italianness of this city, because then they may experience the dangerousness of this city. Let's not make it like a group of black people. 10 or 15 black people want to hang out after the convention and they could just waltz into O'Malley's Irish pub. Yeah, no, let's not paint the picture like that's okay. And like O'Malley's is going to be welcome. There are some spots that I'm sure would be, but there's far too many that won't be. Particularly if they're down there around the seaport when right across the way is South Boston and all that. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So, let's not once again create this falsehood. We have too many instances here of black people being mistreated in restaurants, in hotels, in local establishments, so on and so forth, cab drivers, Uber, this, that, the other. So let's not lead our people to the slaughter. Once again, to me, this is part of a thing to siphon and funnel money from black people into white hands. Oftentimes, into white hands that don't even like nor respect black people. They'll take your money, though. White people have never had a problem taking black money, right? They've also never had a problem exploiting black labor or black talent. So you could sing at the club, you know what I mean? You could work at the club, a little waiter, a bartender, whatever. You can come to the club and pay your money, we'll take your money. But we don't like you people. So in Boston, no, I cannot condone for black people that we want black people visiting from other places to experience the Irishness and Italianness of this city. No, I do not, in my experience, I do not believe that they will be welcomed in many of the pockets like the North End or like South Boston, throwback South Boston. Right? And particularly some of the real Irish bars and Irish pubs and, the real Italian places. No, you're not going to be welcomed. And you may run the risk of getting your food spit in or something like that. Okay? Let's keep it real and funky. Right? And why would you want to go there anyway? Okay? So let's think about this. Let's think about it. And of course, when the Sons of Italy, the Columbus Sons of Italy, Knights of Columbus convention comes to Boston, of course, all of their white officials recommend that they come to Roxbury and Dorchester to get jerk chicken and beef patties and soul food, right? Of course, I see it all the time. Don't you? All the time. I see white people recommending black businesses to patronize for large groups of white people. Don't you see that all the time? All the students who come to Northeastern and BU, they're told to patronize the black community, aren't they? No, they're not. They're told to stay the hell away. They're told it's dangerous. They're literally told this, like in orientation seminars and stuff like this. Conventions, people who come here, they literally get a little debrief that says basically, don't go over there, don't mess with those people are dangerous. So if you come to Boston, your experience is Newbury Street, Copley Square, the Seaport. That's the money trap, y'all. It's the funnel. I mean, it's the hustle. You know what I mean? You can't hustle a hustler.
Experience the culture,
Hold
our Italianness, right? Our Caribbeanness, our Irishness, our Italianness, right? And experience the culture that is Boston.
Over the years.
The culture that is Boston. The dying culture that is Boston. Because culturally, we are suffering here. And to literally promote it as if we are this grand thing, man, it's really, we're doing ourselves a super disservice. And we're lying, and the lie only benefits our oppressors. Not for nothing. Oh, watch this. If we try to make forward progress, the oppressors could play back this video to us. The oppressors could use this video like in a court case. If we took them to the court of oppression, they could use this video and say, nah, y'all doing good. Look. Oh, look, they go Duval right there. Now, he just said y'all doing good. Look. Everything's good. Nothing to see here. So to me, this is we're complicit now. We're complicit in our own oppression. Attorney Stephen Wright, Chief General Counsel, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Same place as the other dude came from. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to guess that Stephen Wright, Attorney Stephen Wright, is one of the few black people that works at a high level at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Just a guess, y'all. Just a guess. But I'm willing to bet money on it. Okay? I'm willing to bet money on it.
Years, the city has changed dramatically.
Experience the culture that is Boston.
Over the years, the city has changed dramatically in terms of its accessibility, its acceptance, and also its support of African Americans and people of color.
Lie. He said over the years, the city has become more accessible. What does he say? For people of color, over the years, that's a lie. Once again, you can't say stuff like that when all the data says something else. I could tell y'all it's snowing today, but you look out your window and you see that the sun is shining, right? So,
changed dramatically in terms of.
And once again, he's the chief counsel for the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. So I'm also going to make another guess here. His life's pretty good. Now, he may have some of the similar challenges, other black family he got. He might have a cousin in trouble or whatever. He might have a kid that dropped out of college and wants to be a rapper. I don't know, right? But what I'm saying is, things are pretty all right for him. Chief General Counsel, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. But no, for the rest of us, no, bruh.
The city has changed dramatically.
The city has changed dramatically in terms of its accessibility and its acceptance and also its support for African Americans and people of color. That's a lie. That's a lie. Is the NAACP going to use this convention to encourage investment in people and neighborhoods and fight gentrification forces? Bring that money to Mattapan, please. Come to K's and Safari, Peon off Lane, Golden Sea, and drop some coin with residents. And yeah, see, once again, but also, too, watch what you wish for. Because this bourgeoisie will do the gentrification quicker than quick and then be the ones to, turn it all over. Senator William Moe Cowan. Or is it Cohen? I always get that wrong. But y'all know him. Good brother. I known him for a long time. Good brother. Remember, he became senator for a hot minute. Former U.S. senator, president of Global Government Policies. No. I can't see because the little YouTube we played.
Part of Boston's ongoing evolution. We have Boston's
acceptance and also its support of African Americans and people of color.
We are part of Boston's
president of Global Government Affairs
we have hope in our
and Policy for GE.
We have a passion for our we have hope in our progress.
We have hope in our progress. Based on what?
Of Boston's ongoing evolution. We have hope in our progress. We have a passion.
David Gibbons, Executive Director, Boston Convention Center. We have a passion.
We have a passion for our future.
We have a they did him short because we have a passion for our future. Translate. We have a passion to stay in business. We have a passion for that money. We have a passion for our economic future. He said it. He might have been the most truthful now. We have a passion for our future. Look, our future. We have a passion for our future. And you ain't in that R. He's the head of the Boston Convention Center. His job is to bring in coins from across the country and to make Boston seem, and this is what Jim Rooney did before him, to make Boston, the reputation of Boston across the country has screwed it up with black conventions. They're trying to make it seem black friendly so that they can get more black conventions so that they can get more black dollars. This is not about them having a great relationship with black people. This is about them trying to collect black dollars because the black convention industry is like, I forget what it is, 4 or 5 billion a year or whatever. At the meeting with Darnell Williams from Urban League and Jim Rooney, they broke this all down. They had slides with the projections and all that. Trust me, they know exactly how much you sell, how much you spend on everything. And they want that. They want that money. But the trick is, they want it only to funnel it and channel it, direct it, collect it into white businesses. If anything, if the NAACP does the very best that it can, if 20% of the money from the NAACP convention gets into black hands, that would be a miracle. 20%, y'all, would be a miracle. Y'all have to understand what I'm saying. 20% would be a miracle. What's more likely to happen is, much like the Urban League, it'll probably be like 5%. This is going to actually be going to black vendors and black businesses. One, because a lot of us are not going to be set up and ready to compete and be able to meet all the I's and the T's. Because when they do these things, then they start putting out these bids in Boston. They don't make it easy for you to like win the bid and all that either, right? So let's not forget about that. Let's think about who's running the convention itself. I don't know who is quarterbacking it. I know when it was the Urban League, they chose this lady named Dusty Rhodes from Conventures, damn near an all-white firm. They do like the tall ships and all these other, probably do the pops and that type of thing. And that's who the Urban League hired and chose over a black person, a black company to do that same job. So this is what we're dealing with, y'all. All right. Aaron Jones, Executive Vice President, the Greater Boston Convention and, Convention and Tourism Bureau? Oh, and Visitors Bureau.
Join us in Boston.
We have a passion for our future.
Join us in Boston.
Join us in Boston.
Join us in Boston.
Okay.
Join us in Boston.
Yeah, so now it's just
Join us in Boston.
Join us in Boston.
Come join us in Boston.
Join us in Boston.
Join us in Boston.
Liz Walker, Marie St. Fleur, Robert Treston.
On behalf of the Boston branch of the NAACP, we welcome you to our home, the city on a hill.
We are proud to host the 111th NAACP Annual Convention in Boston. The NAACP has played a pivotal role in our city's growth, its evolution, and its progress. It's an honor to host this historic event.
So here's the mayor. Now, see, this is where this is just dishonesty. So now here's the mayor praising the NAACP and its historic thing. But yet, so does the city just take NAACP recommendations? Like when it comes to economics or housing or education or criminal justice or policing? No, they fight them tooth and nail. There's lawsuits going on right now, probably some more in the mix and whatnot. But it's like, oh, yeah, we love the NAACP. We respect them. No, you don't. Henceforth, there'd be an open seat at the table, like on a commission of racism and discrimination. You would already make it so that the NAACP already just has a sitting, voice in order to do that. Now, that would have been problematic under, former leadership like Michael Curry, because it would have just been an opportunity to wheel and deal and all that type of thing. And it would have been more about individual advancement than actually community advancement. But under somebody like Tanisha, who I trust, their heart's in the right place. And once again, too, is she perfect? Does she get everything right all the time? No. Everybody would, anybody who thinks that of themselves got to be bugging, right? But that the heart's in the right place, the desire is there, and when you don't know a thing, you surround yourself with other people who can supplement and bring in the expertise on that particular thing, right? So this is what I'm talking about. And so now when you got somebody like the Mayor Walsh here.
City's growth, its evolution, and its progress. It's an honor to host this historic event. It's a testament to how far we've come, and more importantly, how far we'll go. On behalf of the city of Boston, we look forward to seeing all of you here next summer.
So, how far we've come and how far we're going to go. You don't get to say that when your administration is part of the problem. And all of this is really circling around race. So that the number one failure in all of this is that the city has failed, not just in race relations and dealing with race. They failed on just having the doggone conversation. They couldn't even figure out how to have the conversation. Because that's how clueless and butt backwards they are when it comes to this stuff. And can't get out their own way. Because, of course, you can't help nobody who think they know everything. How you going to help you? So when they started off with the whole dialogues on race, and, supplemented all of a sudden, and the Boston Globe is doing a series on race, and race was all the rage. And everybody just touched it like that. Boston Globe did an entire series on race. The whole country is applauding them like it was this earth-shattering thing. And, okay, great. It's excellent writing or whatnot. Anybody want to talk about the stuff they left out, though? How you do a series on race in Boston and you don't talk to nobody revolutionary? Let's start there. The black radicals who put race on the forefront of the conversation, period. All the folks who was talking about, Africa is the beginning, all the black revolutionaries, black nationalists, Pan-Africanists, all that. So that's not even in there. Nation of Islam, that's not even in there. In a whole series about race in Boston, and none of that can't even be in there. Okay? Another thing suspiciously missing. A series on race in Boston and nothing about the police. Come on, man. We can't even take this stuff serious if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, you're like, yeah, that was cool. Because you eating what you got. You're not thinking about what you didn't get. You eating whatever's set in front of you. And just take it gladly. Yo. This is insanity. That the city of Boston is dealing like this and going to really act like there's no problem here. I'm going to talk to some of these people offline because I get it. Trying to put your best foot forward. And this is where positivity be killing us. Folks want to be like, yo, we got to keep it positive and all that. Like, when the system got his foot on your neck, you don't want to break under the pressure. But also, too, let's not do the smile like the foot ain't on your neck. Because then you selling it to other people like a foot's supposed to be on their neck. And they just supposed to grin and bear it. We not with the grin and bear it stuff. Okay? If you on the train and you sitting there and somebody steps on your toe, are you the type of person to just be like, oh damn, this person's on the toe. Oh. But you can't even, you're not strong enough to even assert yourself, even in the least assertive ways. Excuse me, you're on my toe. Could you get off my toe? You can't even do that. Let alone, hey man, you're on my toe, man, move. Let alone, get off my toe. You can't even figure out one of those. So you just, I hope he gets off at the next stop. Yo, this is what it's become in Boston. And it's really sick. It's really sick. So, which is it? It's either really screwed up or it's really great. Which is it? And individually, once again, a lot of these people are doing great individually. God bless them. God, I'm so happy for the circumstances in life through their own hard work and diligence and a little bit of, probably right place, right time as well, that they have been blessed with what they've been blessed with. And God bless them. And the changes that it's made in their lives, their families' lives, God bless you. The problem is, though, that for the masses of us, things ain't so good. And this type of stuff, it's disingenuous. At some points, it's hypocritical. And it's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face to the true conditions that's going on. And it only benefits the oppressor. It only benefits the oppressor. Only benefits the oppressor. It just completely glosses over the reality of our dire condition. So, blast out the trick outsiders so they believe all is good. Mostly black people in these ads wouldn't even walk down Humboldt Avenue on Warren Street at night without the police and no media. This is a racist city and gentrification is running rampant. We could have used this 2020 NAACP convention as leverage to change and obtain a lot of progressive and revolutionary positive black policies. Absolutely. And not for nothing, I feel bad because the Boston NAACP, I believe, under this current leadership, has been kind of used and marginalized to some of the kind of national wheelings and dealings and goings-ons. Particularly, the mayor and all of them got into this, I believe, by being sold a false bill of goods, right? So, that's a whole deeper story and whatnot. But, at the end of the day, now I think folks are forced to try to make the best out of a bad situation. But it's always us that have to deal with that. And we constantly get the crappy end of the stick. So here's another prediction. NAACP comes, goes, whole bunch of money has happened, a whole bunch of pictures are taken, whole bunch of, black smiles and all that type of thing. Wonderful, wonderful. And then it leaves and everything is exactly the god doggone same. Prediction. You're welcome. Everything is going to be the same before. Everything is going to be the same after. So what we need to be working on is the same. We need to work on the constant. That thing. All these other little, we get caught off on this like a dog. And you're not paying attention to the one thing. You're getting distracted by all these other little flashes in the pan. And we ain't taking care of job one, which is our own survival. Right? What I want to be like the white man. I'm passionate about my future. You understand what I'm saying? Just know that when they're talking about this, a lot of times we're not in that future, right? Not in the same positions we at now. And all we got to do is, once again, look at the gentrification. Look at all these other things going around. The mayor is great to be here in the city. Less than 1% of construction. I mean, and there's so many things that we look at. $8 of wealth. You have people from the big banks there talking about economic equity and economic empowerment. Are you serious? So, a lot of this stuff is it's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face, and it presents a very distorted picture, and it gives a false sense of it's a lullaby. It gives a false sense of everything is okay, and it's not okay. All right. And they know better than that. And particularly in the administration, they know better than that. And this is put out by the city of Boston. I'm gonna talk to some people. I hope at least they edit the video so that they can at least show the proper respect to the first ever black police commissioner who continually, in my view, gets disrespected or slighted. Little things like this. They call him Willie. They don't call him commissioner. Thing like this, they put Commissioner Willie Gross, Commission, Boston Police Department. He's the only person in the video whose title they got wrong. I do hope people do pay attention when you watch the video. Tell me if I'm bugging. Am I a Michael Curry hater? Or was his title like the biggest title in the whole doggone thing and is excessive and laughable to a point when you look at it and you put it in the frame of ego? It's like, wow. Wowzers. But all right, so I pick up on everything, y'all. This is my media analysis with this. We just took it from the rooter to the tutor. This to me is sad. It's sad. And I'm speaking as a member. Well, no, I'm not. I'm speaking as myself, but I am also a member of the NAACP. So like, I don't drink the Kool-Aid and just like everything is cool. This is, to me, the city of Boston using the NAACP to say everything is okay, which everything you say in the court of law can and will be used against you later. So this is also going to be used by the administration for them to say, look, no, everything's cool. Look, we got folks right here co-signing it. Live video. Look, live video. Co-sign. Everything's cool here. So, dangerous stuff. But all right, y'all. Go have a great day. Go be great today. Go do something great today. Tell somebody you love them. Better yet, show somebody some love. Show some love to a youth or an elder. And as always, y'all, push through the pain to the power. Peace.